Hello and welcome to episode 55 of the Victorian Studio podcast. My name is Maureen and I'm coming to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada on Thursday, January the 5th, 2017. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope everyone had a great holiday. It was pretty quiet here the last couple of weeks. We still have yet to celebrate our Christmas dinner, our family dinner. Unfortunately, half of the family was sick for Christmas Day, and we also had a blizzard on Christmas evening, so we postponed our Christmas family meal until this coming weekend. So as I said to the rest of the family, we'll just pretend that we are Ukrainians and celebrate Ukrainian Christmas, which I believe usually falls on January the 7th. So we still have to celebrate and exchange our family gifts, and I'm really looking forward to that. So needless to say, hubby and I had a very quiet Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and also New Year's Eve, but it was very nice and relaxing. I was off for about 2 weeks from work, so it was great to get a lot of crafting done. I didn't get a whole bunch of knitting completed, and you'll see why a little bit later in the episode. As you can see, there's a little bit different decor in the studio today. I thought I would redecorate in celebration of the Harry Potter year-long knit along, crochet along, craft along. So I got out a few of Daughter's collectibles. Some newer ones are my collectibles, and I thought I would just decorate my desk for the year, so I think I'll keep it this way for a little bit. I'm really enjoying having a little bit different decor to look at while I'm here in the studio crafting and knitting. So, one thing I also did want to mention, Christmas morning I gave hubby his first pair of hand knitted socks, and I'm thrilled to say they fit him perfectly and he loves them. So I foresee more socks for him in the future. I'm really pleased that they were a really good fit and that he enjoys wearing them. So that was a relief. So sadly, December 31st also marked the end of the Toy Knit Along that I was co-hosting with Talia and Marlisha from Pen, Hook and Needles podcast, and also Kim from Me, My Dog, and Some Yarn podcast. I want to thank you ladies, Talia and Marlisha, for inviting me to co-host again this year. I had a blast as usual. It was so great seeing everyone's creations, for getting prizes together for this, and for doing all of the slideshows and everything. It was just so much fun. So thank you so much. I was very honored that you asked me to co-host again this year. So because the knit along ended on December the 31st, today's the day I'll be announcing all the winners of the final prizes for the Victorian podcast group. So stay tuned for that. I thought, though, first I would do one final slideshow of the remaining finished objects that were entered into our group's FO thread over on Ravelry. So enjoy. Those are just great as usual. I have such a fun time putting those slideshows together. I'm going to miss that. Thank you everyone for all your participation in the Ravelry group, in the thread for the Toy Knit Along, for all of the chatter, the encouragement and inspiration. I really had a wonderful time seeing everybody's contributions. And also thank you so much to the sponsors of the Toy Knit Along, both last year and this year, Stephanie from Stitchcraft Marketing and Carolyn at Ancient Arts Yarns. So thank you both so very much for all your generosity and wonderful contributions to the Knit Along as well. I know all of the winners coming up are going to just be thrilled with all of the prizes that you so generously donated. So it's time to announce 8 winners from the Victorian Studio podcast Toy Knit Along group. So we'll start with the December pattern giveaway. Every month I was giving away a $10 US or less giftable pattern on Ravelry. I awarded one in October and for October's posts, for October and November's posts, and then I did a final drawing of October to December's posts for anyone that entered anything into that thread. And so the final winner for that is post number 93, Acton Kitten. So congratulations. Get a hold of me when you see this and have decided on what pattern I can gift you on Ravelry. So congratulations. Okay, the next prizes that I'm going to award are the physical prizes that were so generously donated. The first is the Notions pouch from Stephanie at Stitchcraft Marketing. And that is this double pouch bag. And this goes to, now these, all of these prizes were drawn using random.org. I put into random.org the post numbers 2 to 216. So it came up with these numbers. The Notions pouch is going to post number 140 for the Viking by Dee Lou. So congratulations, and let me know when you see this and I'll get your address from you. The next prize is the first of 2 Kraemer Yarns, and these again were from Stephanie at Stitchcraft Marketing, who arranged from Kraemer Yarns for this Naturally Nazareth yarn. Thank you so much also, Stephanie, and Kraemer Yarns for the support that you gave me for making my toy wolf. I really loved using this, and I know that the prize winners are going to enjoy using this as well. So the first one is Wagon Wheel, and that's this dark gray color, and that goes to post number 197, Studio Vaughn Design. I think that's Vonnie. So congratulations. Let me know your address so I can get this off to you. And the other one is called Bordeaux, and this goes to post number 76, Sienke 49. So congratulations. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. So again, let me know your address and this will come to you and as soon as I hear back from you. And let's see, the next prize to be awarded is the Knitter's Pride DPN set. And this is wonderful. So generous of Stephanie at Stitchcraft Marketing to send this Knitter's Pride DPN set. And the lucky winner of this is post number 41, Knit and Stitch Bits. So you've won the DPN set. Congratulations. Again, get me your address so I can send that off to you. And the final 3 prizes were all given to us by Carolyn at Ancient Arts Yarns. And Carolyn's idea for prizes were 3 separate prizes. Each person will be getting one of their Shasta needle gauges and 1 skein of yarn from Ancient Arts Yarns. There are 3 different weights, so I will announce with each winner which weight you can choose from Ancient Arts, you can choose your own colorway, and Caroline will get those out to you. So when you see this, see your name come up, please PM me and then I'll get you in touch with Caroline. So the first one was post number 56, Miss World, and you've won the Shasta needle gauge and a skein of fingering weight Ancient Arts yarns. So congratulations. The second winner of Ancient Arts yarn and needle gauge is post number 27, Terry Lynn 2. You've won the DK weight yarn and Shasta needle gauge. And the final prize goes to post number 90, Rose Bob, and you've won the bulky weight yarn and the Shasta needle gauge. So congratulations everyone who won prizes. I'm sorry I didn't have something for everyone. Like I say, we had 216 posts in the Toy Knit Along thread, which was awesome. Thank you so much everyone for all your participation and chatter, and it was just made it a wonderful knit along to be involved in. So again, thank you to Pinhook and Needles, to the sponsors, and to everyone involved. I really will miss the toy knit along, that's for sure. It was a real pleasure to co-host again this year. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't get a whole lot of knitting done since the last episode, what with preparing for the holidays and also doing some other crafting and sewing for the Harry Potter knit along. I'll share that with you a little bit later. So what little knitting I did get accomplished over the last couple of weeks, I'll share with you now. The first finished object that I got completed before Christmas, because I fully intended to give it to my parents on Christmas Day, but it is still boxed up, gift wrapped, and awaiting the weekend family dinner, so I can't show it to you live, is what's called a draft dodger. My mom had mentioned a few weeks back that they were getting a draft under their front door of their suite in their apartment from the hallway, which was a lot colder than their suite. So they've been stuffing towels along the bottom of their front door. So I thought, great, perfect opportunity to knit them up a draft dodger. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically a long tube that is filled with fiber or polyfill. And you basically just lay it along the floor at the bottom of the door just to prevent that draft from coming through. So what I did was I went on Ravelry and got an idea from a few different patterns on the size to make, you know, what other people had used, and got a few ideas that I put together in my own design. And so basically I just did a long tube, but I wanted to fancy it up a little bit. So I did do a 6-stitch cable along the top of it. And I also wanted to enclose either end. So I did a lace pattern from one design that had some knit two togethers and yarn overs to create a few holes on either end so that I could run an I-cord or a ribbon or whatever. I did do an I-cord, a 4-stitch I-cord through those, and then I was able to pull it, cinch it up tight, and then knot it up and tie a bow on either end. And that way my mom can take the inside padding out, which I used just some quilting fabric that I also sewed up into its own kind of case so that she can take all of that out as one piece and pull the cover off if they wanted to wash them separately. So I went into my stash and I had 3 skeins of this Diamond Select Chroma 100% wool, and it's neutrals from grays to beiges, and I used about 1.5 skeins of this yarn to create their draft dodger, and I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. It was a lot of fun. It didn't take too long to make, obviously, because you're using a bulky weight yarn. Can't remember the needle size. It says 6mm needles on here, so it was probably close to that. I didn't make a pattern page because I didn't want my mom to see it. So I'll try to create a pattern page after the holidays. with all the details on how I made it. But at least you can see here what it looks like, and I'm very pleased with how it turned out, and I hope it fits their width of their front door, because I didn't measure it obviously. But if I do need to, take it back and rip a little bit out and make it longer if I have to, I can certainly do that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to do. So that was one gift that I created. The second item, the project that I completed over the last little while, was my final project for the O-Loops Harry Potter Knit Along. In the O-Loops group, we've been doing year 4 of the Harry Potter Knit Along, and that started in October and ended December the 31st, and every month we had about 3 challenges that we tried to complete, and I'm very pleased to report that I was able to complete all my challenges on time. So that was so much fun. Had a lot of great chatter over there. It was great meeting other Harry Potter fans over in that group as well, and I also invited them over to the continuing Harry Potter Cal that we're hosting in our group. So the last project that I did was something that we had to make from mini skeins. So Lydia Brown, who is the dyer behind O-Loops Yarns, also is a designer, and what I did was I chose her Fred and George's Crazy Christmas Cowl pattern. This is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry. But I knew I wouldn't be able to complete the whole thing as pictured here. She's made it quite long. So what I did was, instead of doing it double-sided and almost like a long scarf, I did do it still in the round, but then I doubled it up on itself and made a tighter cowl for our cold winters. I got some O-Loops mini skeins in a D-stash, so I have plenty left. I still have 100 grams left of initially 150 gram bundle. So those were the colors that came in that bundle from O-Loops. Unfortunately, the colorway isn't named, or the grouping isn't named. It just says it's called Platinum Sock, which is 75% merino and 25% nylon. So I love those colors all together, and finished up my cowl for that. So this was my final project for the year, and as you can see, it is doubled up. So I basically started at the bottom here and knit double the length, and then just folded it up on itself so that you don't see any of the changes, especially with using mini skeins. There was, every time I did a new section, and each section was about 10 rows. Of course, we had yarn ends, and I didn't even have to bother weaving them in because they're all inside. So I just knotted them up, and then when I folded it up on itself, I just stitched those edges together to make a nice clean edge. So yeah, I was really pleased to have that finished. So that's a tighter cowl for around the neck on our cold winter days, which we've been having. I think it's going down to -39 with the wind chill today. So, and if you ask Celsius or Fahrenheit, when it gets that cold, it doesn't matter. It's about the same. So this will be great to start wearing this underneath my coat, because my coat is open at the front, and so it's nice to have something up close to your neck. So, final project for the Harry Potter Knit Along. It was so much fun to participate in that, and it was so sad to see it come to an end so quickly. But I did mention our year-long Harry Potter Knit Along that was starting in January. So I am thrilled to see a few members of that group come over to the Victorian Studio podcast group on Rav and get involved in the next Harry Potter Cal. So that was wonderful. So let's see. The next thing that I did some work on was some new socks. And like many others, I decided to participate again in Danny from Little Bobbins Knits Christmas Eve cast on. So I decided to use a Harry Potter inspired pattern so that I could also knit along with everyone in the Harry Potter Cal. So that one is in my Hogwarts bag, of course. And I didn't get a lot done on this, but I did start it on Christmas Eve. But that's about all I've gotten done on it so far. Now, the yarn I chose was something new that I got from Lisa at Fibernymph Dyeworks. And this is her colorway. I split into two so I can have two identical, hopefully, socks. You're So Scrooged colorway, so from Fibernymph. I just love that with the Christmas colors, but also the black for coal. And this is her self-striping on her bounce base, and that's 80% merino, 20% nylon. So what I did was when I was winding it, I made sure that I cut the yarn at the same place so that I started at the same point in her colorway and her striping pattern. And I'm doing them both at the same time on separate needles like I always do. So basically just got the cuffs started on that one and the cuff, and I think I got one repeat of the pattern done, which I will show you the pattern in a minute. It's hard to see so far, but I'm not in any rush to get these completed. It'll be something that'll be nice to work on whenever I can. And the pattern is Dumbledore's Christmas Stockings by Erica Luder, Dreams in Fibre. So again, the same designer that does Hermione's Everyday Socks and many others as well. So I'm sure I'm going to be doing a few of Erica's patterns, free patterns on Ravelry over the next year. So that is currently in progress. And the last project that I wanted to share with you is a new skill. And what I decided to do was to try some double knitting for the first time. So I only started this a couple of days ago, so I don't have a whole lot done. But it's been a lot of fun. It's something that I've always been kind of tentative about undertaking. But when I saw a pattern on Ravelry that was a nice small double knitting pattern, I thought that was perfect as a beginner to start with. I didn't want to get overwhelmed with this new skill. And as a few other people have mentioned, double knitting is kind of a mind-bending kind of pattern, because not only are you knitting back and forth if it's a flat pattern, you have to kind of alternate knit and purl stitches depending on what color you want as your front color as opposed to the opposite color on the other side of your pattern. It's kind of hard to explain, but the person who explains it very well is Very Pink Knits, and I went over to her video tutorial on double knitting because I've watched a few of her tutorials before and they've been wonderful. And wouldn't you know it, the sample that she was showing was the same pattern that I was doing. She was doing Ravenclaw and I'm doing Gryffindor, of course, in the double knitted book scarves pattern. And this is by Anne Kingston. It's a free pattern on Ravelry as well. I just printed off the basic instructions and then the pattern, and you can see I'm just kind of working on this one here. And I'm making them shorter. I'm not making it as long because I'm using some leftover yarn that I used before, and I didn't think I had enough to do the entire length of book scarves. They're basically bookmarks, two-sided bookmarks in each of the 4 house patterns in Harry Potter. So I thought, perfect. I'll pull out what I had left from doing the sock that I first tried when I was doing my Gryffindor Pride socks. I used the Lang Jawol yarn, and it ended up being too small, so I ended up not doing a second sock. So I also used that same yarn. I think you can see it. Yes, you can. Those children's socks that I did for the Harry Potter Cal for the Prison Child Challenge. So I didn't have a lot left of this yarn. It's running away on me here. This is all I had left. So I thought it would be a perfect way to use this up and basically learn how to do double knitting. So I cast on and I've just got this started. I'll show you here. I'm using size 0 needles so that it's very tight. And right now it obviously needs blocking. I don't know if I've made mistakes or not, but it's really a test of using this new skill. It's been a lot of fun to try. So as you can see, I've done the checkerboard pattern at the bottom. I only did about 4 sets of that, and now I've started at the bottom of the lion. And it's the same design I did for my Gryffindor Pride socks. So same designer, so it's the same lion design as well. So I've had lots of practice doing that. I did that one sock and then the 2 socks that I did in the heavier weight yarn. So this is the 4th time I've been doing this lion design, but it's been very interesting doing it in the double knitting and learning how to read the pattern, because when you're going across and back again, you kind of have to reverse in your mind. What the pattern shows is going to be opposite to what you're going to get on the other side. So yeah, it's very interesting. But hopefully once I'm done, I'll block this. I'll wash it and block it, and hopefully my stitches will be a little more even. They're not perfect. They're far from perfect. One of the things that I didn't see on any of the tutorials was how to wrap the yarn when you're going from a knit stitch to a purl stitch, because what you have to do is bring both yarns forward and backward for each stitch. So you're doing like 2 stitches for every stitch. And I found that if the yarn got twisted, it wasn't very neat. So I think I need some more practice, but this is a good way to practice. So anybody that hasn't tried double knitting yet, and if you're in the Harry Potter knit along, this would be a great project to get started with. If you know your house, you can do one of these bookmarks and you can revise it. I've seen people make them larger into scarves or make them smaller into like little cup cozies and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to actually try to do double knitting. So I would highly recommend the pink, very pink knits. I hope I said that right before, that it wasn't the pink girl knits, because that's different. Very pink knits. I'll link it in my notes right to that video tutorial. So that was good. But again, she doesn't talk about wrapping the yarn back and forth. So I guess I'll know better once I'm done and it's washed and the stitches are more even. We'll see how it looks, but that's what I've got done just over the last just a few hours working on. It's very slow going, but still very interesting to see it develop. So that's all of the knitting that I've basically undertaken since the last episode. The other crafting that I was doing, I was having a lot of fun coming up with some ideas that would be unique to our podcast, Cal. So what I thought I would do is make a variety of different prizes. Not only will I be giving away $10 US Ravelry patterns every month, every couple of months I want to give away actual physical prizes. I've also been contacted by a few yarn dyers that are going to be donating, very generously donating, some Harry Potter themed yarn. So when those come in, I'll be sure to share them with you. But for now, so far in the thread, I've put photos up of some of the prizes that I've accumulated so far. So the first one was some stitch markers that I decided to do. And at the end of the podcast today, I'll add some pictures in while I was making these stitch markers so you can see a little bit of how I made them. So let's see here. The stitch markers I decided to do were little mini representation of the Harry Potter books. And these are all made from scratch, from my own images, and it's one of each of the 7 books in the Harry Potter series. And what I did was, to begin, if you notice back here, I have my daughter's full set of Harry Potter novels. And I took pictures, I laid them out flat, so I took pictures of their covers and then used those images in an image processing program that I have on the computer so I could combine them and flatten them out and make them look good. And then I miniaturized them and squeezed them right down and printed them off onto cardstock paper so that I would have both the front cover, the spine, and the back cover of each book in the size I wanted. They're, I believe, 1 inch high, each of these. So I printed those off, and then I took some Sculpey modeling clay. And I've used it before on some other items, but what I did was I rolled it out to the thickness that I wanted. And if you notice, the books in the Harry Potter series are all different thicknesses. They start out smaller books, and then by the end of the series, they got to be quite thick. So because the spines were all different sizes, I had to make sure that the sculpt inside pages of each of my little mini books were the right size. So I rolled out the Sculpey in various thicknesses and cut them to size, and then used a modeling tool, I think it was just actually a palette knife, to create the look of some pages in there, and then baked these in an oven, and also added an eye pin at the top, and those are glued in with E6000 glue so they won't come out. And so I baked them and then glued on the page, on the covers, the paper covers onto each book, and then covered each of them with some packing tape, clear packing tape, to protect them. I had to do the covers of one set a couple of times because I thought at first I could just use something like Mod Podge or some kind of protectant like Varathane, but it made the ink run on my first set, and so I had to reprint them again, and I just used the tape, and that seemed to work really well. But I did use some Mod Podge type material for the edges, so everything is all protected and hopefully will last a long time. And so, as I said, I reinserted the eye pins after they were cooked so that they were glued in with E6000 glue. It's a really nice durable glue. And then I added some stitch marker rings, just some rings with some beads that kind of matched the front covers of the books, and made that set of 7. So each set of 7 books I've put together in their own little pouches, and I'm just awaiting in the mail. I've got some Harry Potter ribbon that's coming that is going to be closing each of these pouches, but each pouch has a whole set of 7 stitch markers, so there are 4 sets of these stitch markers that I created as some prizes. And then I wanted to make some project bags, so again I made 4, because if I do some physical prizes every 3 months over the year, we'll have 4 different drawings. So there's 4 identical bags that I sewed up, and this was material that I got from Spoonflower, which I've used on my bags before. I really love it. It's sayings from the first Harry Potter book, and has a nice handle on it, and the inside. This one has just a plain inside, and I didn't have enough material to do the inside of the other 4, so I went to Fabricland and got a little bit different material, and so the other 3 have this more striped, pinstriped interior, and I'm going to put some Harry Potter charms on the zippers of each of these as well, And again, I'm just waiting for my order from Etsy to arrive to do that. So there's 4 project bags that will be up for grabs in the knit along. As well, speaking of bags, I've got 4 of these I found at a local store, and these are a Harry Potter item of platform 9 3/4. So I thought these tote bags would be great to give away as well as prizes. And also I have some ideas for some more prizes, so there's going to be more things coming. I've got some supplies that are on their way from Malaysia, and so I can hardly wait to share those with you in upcoming episodes, because I'm really looking forward to doing a new type of craft that I haven't tried before. So I hope my idea works out for those. So let's see. Yeah, and the only other thing, I'll have a bunch of sets when I get more Harry Potter charms in the mail, do more charm stitch markers and progress keeper sets as well. With the owl cauldron, a chess piece, the Deathly Hallows symbol, and also a lightning bolt. So yeah, those different charms I'll also put into sets as well. So it's a lot of fun doing all of these different crafts. The sewing and also sculpting the books, that was a lot of fun. And speaking of sewing, while I had the sewing machine out, I decided to make myself a couple more bags, because I had some Spoonflower fabric that I still hadn't made up into project bags for myself. So you know, if I get some more projects on the needles, I've got to have some more Harry Potter bags to put them in. So I made myself up a couple more. This one is the Marauders Map material. And inside this one, on here is a really nice charm I just got the other day for Liquid Luck. And in this one, I did a DPN cozy and also matching notions pouch. It's more like almost like a pencil case style. So, because I used up every inch of this material, I believe this was just a fat quarter that I got from Spoonflower. So it was great to use that all up to make one more set for me. And then the other set, I made a little bit larger bag. I was able to make it larger because I also had some black material that I added on to the bottom, but I really love this Hogwarts Railways material, again from Spoonflower. So again, it has a nice handle. I love having a handle on my bag so I can carry it into work easily. And also a new charm that I got, platform 9 3/4, and I just may have a few more of those charms that I'll be making up into sets for prizes. And again, I also made another DPN cozy and a notions pouch, and the notions pouch on this one is a little bit bigger because I used less material on this bag. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how these all turned out, and I have plenty now Harry Potter project bags to fill up with projects over the next year. So speaking of Spoonflower, of course I had to go on there another time and choose a few other Harry Potter fabrics. So these, I'm not sure if I'm going to make them up into things for myself, or maybe they'll be future prizes. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. But this material, I got 2 more patterns. The first one is the Hogwarts crest material. And again, I just got a fat quarter of that. And the second one I got were some newspaper headlines material. So I thought that was pretty neat, from different newspapers throughout the movies that they show. So yeah, I think that'll make a really neat bag or a pouch or something. I have yet to decide. So that's about it for the Harry Potter prizes. As I mentioned, there's more prizes coming. I will show those and add photos of those to the Ravelry thread when they arrive. Let's see. I also wanted to thank everyone who has entered into the thread already with chatter and project ideas and all of the enthusiasm for the knit along. I'm just thrilled to see that so many other people are excited about this knit along as I am. It's so cool to be hosting this and for the entire year. I think it's going to be so much fun. So thank you everyone who is involved in it so far. I hope you enjoy all of the giveaways that will be happening and all the ideas and inspiration and just having the camaraderie of other fans and people who maybe aren't fans of Harry Potter but enjoy either knitting in the Harry Potter themed yarns or patterns. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be so much fun. So speaking of Harry Potter yarns, what I did in the thread is in our group, I made another thread on a bunch of indie dyers who have Harry Potter colorways. So I thought there was a few, indie dyers that I had seen, Harry Potter themed yarns. I didn't realize how many there were. So there's quite a good list there. I went to each shop and made sure that they had Harry Potter yarn either in stock right now or will be having Harry Potter yarn in stock over the next year. Some of them have it, like Lydia at Loops. She'll be doing her Harry Potter themed yarns again in June. So that's when she'll be sending over a skein to give away in the Cal. So thank you so much, Lydia. So I hope you enjoy seeing all of those different indie dyers. And what I did was, not all of them, it was hard not to buy from all of them, but a fair number of them I wanted to try the yarns as well. So hopefully over the next year I'll be incorporating them into some of my projects so that I can kind of review the yarns for you as well. In the meantime, I have a few that have arrived. Again from Lisa at Fibernymph Dyeworks. She had a skein. I never realized that she did have some Harry Potter themed yarns, and this one I noticed on her site and I had to grab it because it's called There's a Troll in the Dungeon. So this is on her Squoosh 2.0. It's 75% superwash Corriedale and 25% nylon. 383 yards, so self-striping again. So this is going to make something pretty cool, I think. So Fibernymph Dyeworks. And let's see. I also went to Gnome Makers, who have quite a few Harry Potter themed yarns, and I picked up some Polyjuice Potion. I thought this was really beautiful. She has so many. I'm sure there'll be more that I'll be getting over the year, but this is fingering sock on the One Fine Gnome base. That's 60% superwash merino, 20% superfine alpaca, and 20% nylon. So I thought that was just beautiful. Polyjuice Potion. And let's see. This is a new to me dyer, and I just love this. Somebody on the threads pointed me towards this Etsy dyer. It's called Honey Girl Farms, and she is honeygirlfarmsetsy.com. I will link all of these dyers in my notes, but also if you go to the thread in the Ravelry group, they will be there as well. And this is her Niffler colorway, and I'm just so thrilled with that. That's going to be very interesting. It's called Niffler with Treasure, and it's on her golden sock. It's 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. So it's just beautiful. It's a fingering 4-ply and 400 meters. So I'm really looking forward to trying that out. This might end up being maybe a shawl or something rather than socks. It's very, very soft and very, very beautiful. And the last one that I've got so far, there's a few more on their way. This one is from Tail and Tendril at Etsy, and this is her Invisibility colorway, as in invisibility cloak. And this is on her Hornbeam base. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% silk, and it's 400 yards, fingering weight. So this is just beautiful, and I'm really looking forward to trying that out as well. So there's a few that have arrived so far, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying out as many as I can, so, and sharing them with you. And I forgot to show you earlier something that I had ordered a few months ago now from Knit Picks. I was doing another order with some yarns, and I decided to bite the bullet and take advantage of one of their sales to get a sweater's worth of yarn in anticipation of the Harry Potter knit along. And I keep forgetting to share that with you on the podcast. And it's been sitting in this box since it's arrived. And I'm sure you can guess once you see the yarn what exactly it's going to be made into. I got all kinds of tweed yarn. This is their 80% Peruvian Highland wool, 20% Donegal tweed, worsted weight. This is the wool of the Andes in garnet heather, and also a couple of skeins in brass heather. So I'm sure the Harry Potter fans out there will be able to tell right from this is going to become my Weasley sweater. So I do have the Charmed Knits book with the pattern, so I'm all set. And so throughout the next few months, I am going to undertake making a Weasley sweater. So I can hardly wait to start that project. So yeah, I thought it was high time I shared that with you as well. And lastly, I wanted to share with you a photo of our newest family member. Daughter and her boyfriend adopted this cute little guy a few days ago. His name is Django, and he is 2.5 pounds, 8 weeks old. He is such a sweetheart. I went over to visit with them a few days ago, and he is just the cutest little ball of fluff. You can hold him in one hand. He's so tiny, but just adorable. And I can hardly wait to see him again on the weekend. We're having our delayed family Christmas dinner over at her place, so I can hardly wait to see him amongst all the wrapping paper and all the excitement of the day. It should be a lot of fun. So I thought you might want to see a photo of that cute little guy. So I'll also add at the end here a few images of what I've been up to over the last couple of weeks, including some pictures of when I was making those stitch markers, so you could see them a little bit closer. And I guess that means the next episode will be coming out about January 19th. So until we see you in 2 weeks' time, thank you so much for your visit today. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've been up to, and Happy New Year to everyone again. So until the 19th, take care, and thanks so much for visiting. Bye-bye.